So one of the things I needed to do today was swap out the blades. That other blade, I've been running it forever and it's been fantastic, but as much cutting as I need to do, I thought a new blade would help out, give me some nice straight cuts. So we're going to swap out the blade and then do some cutting. Got my Wood-Mizer blade in all of its glory, and we'll take off the old one and make a comparison and then get the new one on. The thing I like about these Wood-Mizer saws is they are really easy to swap out blades and get back to work. So this blade tensioner is just a quick lever to release that camming device. It loosens up the blade, and now I can take the blade off of the wheel. So let's take a look at make a comparison on the teeth. You can see we've got the old blades and the new blades, which have been sharpened. These ones are they're longer, and they're definitely coming to a much finer point than these that have been cutting, who knows, the last year or so. I'm excited to put the new one on and see the difference. So Wood-Mizer has a great program where you can box up their blades and send them back to them, and they'll resharpen them for you. And depending on which blade you have, how many teeth, how long it is, it can be $7 or $8, and they'll send it back to you ready to go. So just like that, I've got it boxed up. I can go and put this drop it in the mail, send it back to Wood-Mizer. They'll sharpen it up, send it back to me, and I'll be ready to go. One thing you can see inside while we've got it open is a lot of times with gunk, things build up in here. It's good to get it cleaned out so that the sawdust can flow, not get plugged up in here. I certainly could if that thing was full of sawdust and you weren't running water on your blade and it got really, really hot, there is the possibility of maybe starting a fire in there. So I think it's just good business practice to keep it clean, and it'll minimize your headaches down the road. So I'll get it started up and we'll do some cutting and see how that new blade's working. Another option is sharpening your own blades, and if you're cutting all the time, I think that's a really smart investment, is get yourself a good sharpener for your bandsaw blades so you can do it during the winter when you've got time. Set it up in the shop and go in there and sharpen blades. But for those of us that are cutting here and there, it's easier to just send them in, have somebody else sharpen them, and send them back, as opposed to investing, you know, $1,000 or whatever it takes to set yourself up to sharpen your own blades. Yeah, this is perfect. Come down here. The first thing I did when I brought the saw over here was try to get it leveled up and squared up. If there's a little bit of twist in the rail, that same twist will be reflected in your board, and you don't want that, especially when you go to use those boards for building whatever it is that you're building. You want them to be as tight and square and just as smooth as possible. It'll make your life much easier down the road. So I've kind of got it temporarily put together here, and you can see in the level, it doesn't look real level because the ground underneath is, but with the 6-foot level, we've got it leveled up and we're ready to do some cutting. The goal long term is to get it set on a concrete pad that's leveled and have it bolted down absolutely solid, because as you start to get trees that are 25 foot long and 2 foot around, they'll weigh several thousand pounds, maybe even as much as 5,000 or 6,000 pounds, and to have that frame solid to the ground on a solid foundation is going to allow us to cut really, really straight, really flat boards and not worry about all that weight on the saw. these lines that are going across this way. And what that is every time I take the hand crank around and stop, and then take it around again and stop, and take it again, it's not, the hand crank is not exactly smooth, and it's creating these lines. I think what I'm going to do is try just a steady pressure on the next cut and see if it minimizes these saw marks that we're getting. So the new blade is making my life so much easier. I don't even have to hardly push, and it's cutting right through there, especially on these wide cuts where I'm 20 inches. It's cutting right through it. We're not using a whole lot of water, and it's making some really, really pretty boards. Now you've got a real thing for books, maybe even an addiction, if you will. And so I want to build some really nice bookshelves. You're almost there, keep going. Here, take a break. Keep going. Hi.
Done and done.
Let's not put that in the dirt. Nicely done, sir. Well done. You want to sweep this off? We'll take a look at it. Okay.
Is there a broom?
Right. Go put that back.